All your base art belong to us.
You're listening to Gamers Digest, a podcast where your hosts put the controllers down just long enough to talk about gaming news, rumors, and anything else they can think of. Here are your hosts, Spider1 and Mr. Factastic.
Welcome to Gamers Digest, episode 77.
Welcome.
I am Spider1.
I'm Mr. Factastic.
And we are Minecraft people now.
Yeah, we are.
So we had a pretty busy week. We recorded a lot of Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we toiled over it, and it was just awful. I mean, we
died a lot.
Yeah, we died
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. Good thing we weren't playing hardcore or
Permadeath
or anything like that.
Yeah, so, well, we did a lot of Minecraft. Our first video's up now. Our second video goes up tomorrow. We will also play after the show. So we'll get that out of the way. What else did you play?
I didn't really play anything besides watch Let's Play for UFO Alien.
You were, like, dying in there watching it.
Yeah.
You want to give him a plug?
It's pretty fun. I mean, I always watch Kikoski's Let's Plays. I just like the guy. He's pretty funny, and, like, he plays a lot of games where he can name a lot of his characters and stuff like XCOM and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And or he names characters after other Let's Plays he does. So like he'll like name somebody like Sub-Zero from like he played I think Mortal Kombat Mythologies or something.
Huh.
And he'll name somebody Sub-Zero, and it's just funny just to see the characters and who lives, who dies. It's always pretty funny, and I really like his Let's Plays. Like that's how I learned about Minecraft through his videos.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
yeah, I know Yogcast is probably like the biggest Minecraft. Like they're on like episode 200 something. And they do all kinds of mini Minecraft series, like mods and stuff like that. I don't think we'll quite get to that point, but hopefully, our Minecraft series goes pretty far. We're off to a good start. I did some work in between when we filmed, just cleaning stuff up and trying to get through some of the boring stuff, like just digging through stone.
Yeah.
So maybe now we can actually go explore. So we'll do that after the show. I played some Hearthstone, of course, did Minecraft. I got pretty far in Darksiders 2. I'm glad I gave that a second chance because I'm actually really enjoying that.
yeah, you never finished it the last time.
I never got real far. Like I think I finished like the first temple and then stopped. It is probably one of the best Zelda games I've ever played.
Nice.
So I think that's what I like because like there's all these genres like first person shooter and RTS and stuff like that, but nobody really does Zelda type games. There's no open world. Go to this temple, get this item. Go through. Obviously, there's a backdrop of a story to it too. But the only games that do that are really Zelda.
Yeah.
So, it's cool that Darksiders, the first one did it really well. There were some problems, but the second one seems to fix a lot of the problems. And I'm really spoiled for third-person games now because Death in that game just is so nimble, like the climbing and stuff like that. Like I went back to like Deadpool and I went back to some of the other third-person action games, and I'm like, dude, they are like so sluggish. Like Death like runs up walls when he's climbing and stuff, and he's just so nimble. I'm like, man, I wish they made more games with heroes this nimble. Like Lara Croft climbing on a wall takes forever, and Death is like and then he's at the top of the tower.
Wow, like faster than Assassin's Creed and all that?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, especially coming from Assassin's Creed 4. I'm like, dude, I would have no problem getting all the vantage points if Edward climbed like this. So that was pretty cool. I hopped in Starbound a little bit, tried the new patch, threw in some Mass Effect mods, so we can I could test that out. I think that's what we'll do when we pick up Starbound again. And then the big thing that started over the weekend was, and I'm glad I could talk about this, was EverQuest Next Landmark. It's basically like World of Warcraft meets Minecraft, and there's two games to it. There's EverQuest Next, and then there's EverQuest Next Landmark. You can think of EverQuest Next as the traditional like World of Warcraft. That's like the MMO. You have gears, levels, stuff like that. Landmark, while it's still going to have monsters and stuff like that, that's where the world is destructible.
And it's like Minecraft a little bit.
Yeah, like you mine ore, you cut down trees, you build stuff, like you place your claim on land and stuff like that. So I'm actually going to do a full preview for that. It is in alpha now, so it is pretty rough, but I'll talk about that more. I'm glad I can talk about that, though, just because of the fact that when alpha launched on Friday, they were like, oh, NDA, non-disclosure, embargo, stuff like that. You can't talk about any of it. And then Saturday night, they were like, all right, NDA's gone. I was like, well, what was the point of that? You just...
Yeah.
You didn't want people to talk about it on Saturday? What? So,
I guess because the response might have been positive or something.
The response has been so positive. I mean, you took a peek at it, and like I said, you claim a piece of land, and they put like a buffer around, so you can't be neighbors with somebody right next to each other. There's a little bit of a buffer zone. Unfortunately, now all the continents are full.
Yeah.
So. I had
that
to
many
search.
people are playing it.
I had to search, and I finally found like an area on the outskirts of like a tier 3 continent where I could finally build, claim it and build my house and stuff. So, not that it really does much. You'll in the preview you'll see kind of what I did.
Okay.
If we make it that far. But that was pretty much it. I didn't get a whole lot of gaming done this weekend.
We watched the Super Bowl.
We watched the Super Bowl.
That was cool.
That was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah.
we're neither one of us are Seahawks. Well,
No.
you're kind of a Seahawks
Kind
fan.
of, yeah.
You're like a closet Seahawks fan.
Closet. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but it was fun to watch. Like it's always cool to see the underdogs take it.
Take it to the house, literally.
Yeah, they stomped them.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, I don't.
The 10.4 million. I gotta feel bad for him. I mean, you shouldn't bet that much.
No.
But yeah. So Super Bowl.
Oh, well, maybe he'll learn his lesson. Not
Maybe.
to be so stupid with his money.
Yeah. He'll run out. He's the next Tyson. He'll run out.
He'll run out. So he'll be in like another Hangover movie or something.
Yeah. So we got a bunch of news. You want to start us off with the first story?
The first story is there's a proposed bill for the 38 studios, right? Yeah, 38 studios. There's a bill proposed by Rhode Island delegate to go default on the loan that they gave to 38 studios.
Yeah, I mean the loan is so big that they're actually trying to pass legislation to say, well, the loan doesn't really exist. We're just going to ignore it.
We're just going to ignore it and
Move
worry about
on.
other stuff. Just
Now-
kick the can down the road.
Yeah. Now they tried to pass something similar earlier last year, and it failed. So we'll see if this one goes through. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, they loan the money out, so really they're the ones that are losing it. But it's the taxpayers that are really losing it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. $75 million.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So-
That's a lot of money for a video game.
Yep.
So, I think the next story was cool about how Wolf Among Us came out today.
Today,
It's
yeah.
Episode 2.
So-
Smoke and Mirrors, I believe is called.
Yeah, so we get to dig a little further into Big B's backstory and stuff like that. I haven't picked it up yet. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Walking Dead, and then we'll play Walking Dead, and then we'll wait a little bit, and then we'll play Wolf Among Us, and we'll kind of try to space them out a little bit. So, but yeah, that's out today. PC's up. I believe PlayStation is up. I think Xbox is tomorrow. So I think they were a little behind. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Saints Row. Fans of the Saints Row video games. If you want to wear what's in Saints Row, you can now. It's coming to the company called Insert Coin. I guess they do a lot of gaming stuff. They're actually one I've never heard of before.
Yeah, I never heard of them until this article here.
But you can buy Saints Row merch. It has like Dr. Genki, all the fun Saints Row stuff. No phallic bat though. Which is kind of like the core of Saints Row. But
they dropped the ball there.
yeah, check it out. InsertCoin.com. Saints Row, it's up now. They actually have some cool stuff. I don't know if I'd ever buy it, but maybe some people do.
Maybe. So are you're a fan of the new Star Trek, right?
Yeah, it was better than the older Star Treks.
I could agree with that.
It
partly.
has more appeal than the other
it's
Star
very it's a
Treks.
lot more appealing, a lot more contemporary. What do you think about the casting? What do you think about the cast?
I liked how the guy in the first one is in it for 15 seconds and then he becomes Thor. So just proving that if you pilot the ship, you become a Norse god.
Yeah.
No, I liked Chris Pine. I think he plays Kirk very well. Like I always heard Kirk was the rough and tumble kind of take chances guy, and I liked Zachary Quinto as Spock. He plays that level-headed, cool, calm, collective guy.
I think he did a pretty good job as Spock, and he's also going to be in the next Agent 47 movie.
Yeah,
I did not know that they were making.
The next Hitman movie, which is
Yeah,
funny because
yeah.
they were like, well, we're canceling the game.
Yeah.
Well, we're not really canceling the game, but we're also making a movie. So
Yeah, that was a little surprising to me. Like, did you even watch the first one?
I've seen the first one. I never saw the second one because they did like a direct DVD.
Oh,
second
you're right.
one.
I heard about that.
Yeah, the first one wasn't bad. Like
Okay.
of video game movies, it's a bad movie, but of video game movies, it's
Okay.
tolerable. Like it's one of those movies that's fun to watch. So Quinto is taking over as 47.
That's interesting.
I mean, it was actually initially supposed to go to Paul Walker.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, he cannot
he's
fill that role.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Too soon.
I hate to say it, but I actually think Quinto might be better for it. I don't know how he'll look bald though. That might be a little weird.
Yeah, that is a little weird.
But I think he can pull that character off better.
Yeah.
Like Paul Walker's good at Paul Walker's decent at. Paul Walker's good at being Paul Walker. Okay.
Yeah.
So or was. Okay, moving on.
Too soon. So Toy Soldiers and Dead Island, free games for gold.
There you go.
Woo! 2011 games.
Toy Soldiers, I've never heard of. Dead Island's good. So if you haven't played Dead Island,
I thought
pick it up.
about probably downloading it tonight. or
Dead Island's
tomorrow.
good. I mean, if you want to do some co-op or something, that's actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
Open world zombie survival. The only thing I didn't like is as it goes on, most games as they go on, they get more fun because you get stronger and you get cooler stuff. Dead Island, unfortunately, starts out like here, and as it goes on, it's just kind of like, well, now I have guns, so they're less of a threat. So then they start throwing like the gimmick zombies at you, but they're not really that intimidating. So I'd say the first act of Dead Island is really, really fun. So, if you do download it, play the crap out of that, like do all the side stuff. And then after that, the second act's all right. But after the second act is
it takes a walk.
Yeah, it takes like a big drop in quality because at that point, like the cool thing about Dead Island is you're like outside and it's like this free roam, zombie survival game mixed with an RPG and a good crafting system. The problem is after the second act, you're inside, enclosed environments, and there's guns everywhere.
Oh,
So
stuff you're already used to.
yeah. So the originality kind of gets lost. And I actually hear the second one suffers a lot from that kind of stuff too. So I never played Riptide. But yeah, I would say check it out. It's free. So
Yeah, exactly. Free. Why not?
I don't know anything about Toy Soldiers. I assume it involves toys that fight each other.
Yeah, pretty much. Some silly arcade game that they're throwing at us. Well, I wonder what the next game they're going to give us for free. That'll be on the 16th of this month.
Yeah. So you had a successful Kickstarter, and that crowdfunding is becoming very popular, especially in like the gaming area.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, following through with it is not as popular.
Yeah.
2/3 of games that have been fully funded on Kickstarter have yet to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
They did an interesting thing that very small amounts, like 1 to 2%, were officially canceled.
Yeah.
Like 4% were on hiatus, and then there were like a big percentage, the 2/3, of just waiting to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people were like, well, then why are we crowdfunding them? And I'm like, well, you got to remember when they crowdfund it, it hasn't even been made. And
Yeah.
a lot of these things are done by small studios, so you're expecting a 2 to 3 year turnaround time.
Yeah.
And Kickstarter's really only been popular for about a year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this like when I first found out about Kickstarter, it was like 3 years ago.
Right.
It was very new. Like if something got over like 20,000, it was like whoa,
Big deal.
Yeah, that was a big deal. Now it's a lot more common. A lot more people are using it. It's a lot more successful. But there's so many things that go into any type of production that there, there's so many unaccountables. Like when I did my Kickstarter, there was like the last little thing I had to fill out was it was some category like what are some unforeseen obstacles that that you might run into, and for my project in particular, it was the weather, believe it or not. It was actually delayed so much stuff. Like a lot of people I have like a team of people all over the United States that are working on props and stuff, and they're like building things out of resin and plastics and stuff like that.
You can't do that at negative 29.
You can't do that with the extreme cold that we've been having.
Right.
We had like 2 polar vortexes and stuff. So, and these people, like, if they try to glue something and they sit it outside, it like breaks apart. So really, we were supposed to start filming this month. There's some things that we're going to film this month.
Right.
But a lot of the main stuff that I hope that we can have done by the end of the month won't be able to, just because of the weather. So,
and we're supposed to get ice again tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there's so many things, unforeseen things that you could run into when you're doing a project. So I can understand why there's these delays. And look at how many times we've done stories where a game is being delayed until a couple months from now.
A big story that came out this week, and I didn't put it on the news. I actually was going to, and then I stopped because I wanted to wait for more information. But Ubisoft apparently filed for abandonment of the Watch Dogs trademark. So people were like, "Oh God, it got canceled," and that's a game that's been pushed back.
Yeah.
That was like a launch title for PS4.
Yeah,
and then it pushed back, and now they're like, "Oh, they're abandoning it." Well, they found out that the abandonment request was fraudulent. So Ubisoft's still, as we know right now, working on Watch Dogs.
Yeah,
but obviously, even big companies, small companies, they're going to run into unforeseen stuff. So I wouldn't take this 2/3 of games not being fulfilled as a big deal. You just got to wait for the development cycle.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah.
Rust Alpha. Now, Rust is a game that's becoming super, super popular. In fact, it's catching up to DayZ in popularity in terms of just chatter. I don't know about sales. I think DayZ still has some pretty significant lead in that. But it's like an open world survival game. You start with a rock and a stick, and you have to work your way up. Eventually, you can make guns and stuff like that. It's a lot like Minecraft.
Okay.
In the fact that you can build up stuff and eventually make an airport and bomb guys with sticks and rocks.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
So it's becoming really popular. It's sold 750,000, and it's only an alpha. It's not in beta. We're actually gonna do a discussion topic on this of alpha. These paid alphas are becoming pretty popular. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, and I have some feelings about that.
Yeah.
So
I kind of do too.
Batman Arkham Origins Wii U.
I didn't even know it was out for Wii U.
Well, you're not getting any DLC now that you know. They said no DLC for Wii U.
Yeah.
Honestly, the first DLC I heard wasn't that good. The initiation or whatever.
Okay.
They say it's cool to see Batman before he's Batman, but they're like, but it sucks because you're playing a Batman game to be Batman. So it's like, oh, okay. Let me walk around as Bruce Wayne and learn to punch ninjas. So,
yeah. I did like at the end of the article it mentioned that if you bought the season pass on the Wii U that you can get a refund.
Yeah, so I mean they have to honor that, hopefully.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you would hope. So the next story, let's see what else. Oh, I thought this was ludicrous. So somebody tried to sue I guess Rockstar for Grand Theft Auto 5. They said it was unlawful, unfair, and fraudulent that the online component of GTA 5 wasn't up to their standard or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the stupidest thing ever.
They filed like this big class action lawsuit that there were a lot of bugs, kind of the same thing that Battlefield's going through now, which there's a little more argument for Battlefield.
Yeah.
But
it was dismissed by a judge.
The judge is like, you're crazy. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
He's like, I play Grand Theft Auto Online all the time. You're just a noob.
Mm-hmm.
Get out. Actually, no judge ever has probably played Grand Theft Auto.
It would be awesome if they did, though.
It would be very ironic. You think about it.
It would be.
Microsoft stores are offering a $100 trade-in for a PS3 or Xbox 360, so you can buy a Xbox One. So that's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
Sony responded and said you could just keep it and save $100 and get a PS4.
Yeah,
So-
that was pretty. Like I at first I didn't think it was real.
Like you thought it was just somebody making like a meme.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's definitely Sony's marketing team.
Yeah, Sony's marketing team. High five to you guys. That was perfect.
Yeah, so we'll see how Sony keeps the stride going if these new Xboxes come out, like the cheaper versions and stuff like that. So
yeah, that'll definitely be interesting. 2DS sales are up to 2.1 million.
that's pretty impressive for a system that's not targeted to their core audience. I wish they could say that about the Wii U.
Yeah, I mean anything with regards to handheld consoles and Nintendo, it's gonna do well.
Right. So they actually said when they announced this, it was during a big old press conference, and the president Satoru Iwata said we've had a bad year, stuff like that. I think the Wii U's problem is people don't understand it's a new console. Like they think that gamepad is just an accessory for the Wii. Because he was like, unfortunately, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot because we branded everything Wii, like Wii Fit, Wii Sports, stuff like that, and then we're like, oh, Wii U. So people were like, oh, it's just that gamepad for the Wii, but it's a new console. So they kind of dug into, maybe we made a mistake naming it the Wii U.
Yeah.
But he came back and he actually said, we've done so bad, I'm going to cut my salary by 50% for the next 5 months. So that's pretty cool that the president of Nintendo is taking personal responsibility.
And some other board members are having their salaries cut like 20 to 30%.
Yeah, so
I wish White Wall Street would do that. Or
I was talking to a guy at work today, and I was like, "You never see that here. Never. Nobody. In fact, if they had a bad year, they would give themselves raises." So that if they had another bad year, they could just retire. So, not good business.
No.
We're not a political talk show.
No.
We're a video game talk show, but I get a little bitter
Yeah.
when guys are making millions of dollars
Buku bucks.
for nothing.
Yep.
So,
Jerks.
well, Mario Kart 8 is coming to the Wii U in May. That was the other big announcements during that.
Yay.
Hey, it's a solid game that could sell systems. So, and that's what they need right now. They need those core games. They
do.
Mario Kart.
I don't think they'll catch up to the 9 million Wii U units sold by this May, though, that they thought they would have.
It's not going to catch that up.
They were like up to 2.8 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
So,
Yeah.
So you did Xbox Live Games for Gold for this month. What's PlayStation Plus getting?
PlayStation Plus is getting Outlast
For the PS4.
for the PS4. PS3 is getting Metro Last Light and Payday 2.
Not bad.
Not
Three good games. Outlast is the super scary survival game where you can't fight, you can only run. And your only way to survive is to find batteries for your flashlight.
Yeah, that's interesting, and these games are relatively new.
Yeah, Metro Last Light's late last year. Payday 2's late last year. So, there you go. PlayStation Plus kicking it up. There's also a couple Vita games, but I didn't write them down because who has a Vita?
Who has a Vita?
I did find something cool, though. If you have PlayStation Plus, but don't have a Vita or a PS4, or you have PS4 and don't have PS3, whatever. If you go online and sign in, you can buy those games because they're free, and it'll put them on your account. Because like right now on the PS3, if you try to buy, Outlast, it'll say not compatible, or it won't even show up, I think. Whereas if you go in the store, you'll see that, and you can click it. So then if you ever get a PS4, it's like, boom, you got all these games ready.
Oh, wow.
So that's the tip of the day, and that's almost the deal of the day, because there really isn't many deals this week.
Not bad.
But yeah, if you go on the online store or the mobile app, you can put those on your account. So, cool tip I found. Last story. Some people lost a lot of money this week.
They did.
And I'm not talking about the Super Bowl. EVE Online, MMO, space combat. We've done so many EVE stories, like everything from like people embezzling banks to stuff like this. Well, they had their biggest online battle ever. So big, CNN reported on it.
Yeah,
like,
it was
they were
amazing.
like, we're gonna stop talking about Afghanistan because really nothing's going on there right now, and we're gonna talk about this video games war where people lost over $500,000.
$500,000. That's crazy. Like what had happened was somebody had missed a payment for something, and like that left a region of space unoccupied, and like basically everybody was like fighting.
Open season.
Yeah, everybody was fighting for that region of space to control it. It's like really weird. I had a little nerdgasm. I'm like, oh, that's so nerdy and awesome.
Yeah. So like the guy bought, the way it worked was you have to pay upkeep on your sectors, and there's obviously big conglomerate corporations in this game as well, and they control a lot of the stuff. And then your faction to them, and these are player made, by the way. These aren't like Horde and Alliance. These are somebody said, I am gonna make the Dildo Alliance, and they're the power in the galaxy. Well, the guy who was in charge of the bill for this one sector, which apparently is an important sector, forgot to pay the bill.
Yep.
So at that point, what it does is it flags it as it can be contested. So then the other big power came in and said, oh, we want to take this. Well, of course, they're not just going to come in and take it. There was a response back to it. And, over the course of it, the total loss was $500,000.
Yeah, because people, you can put your own money into the ships and stuff, and they take months to build, and the most expensive ships cost up to $3,000.
And there were over 100 of those that were destroyed.
Yeah. So. That is just crazy. Have you seen pictures and stuff?
Yeah.
I was looking at pictures and little GIFs of the battle and the war. It just was like, wow.
There's actually a really good picture, and you can go out if you search EVE Online Battle. There's a really good picture. There's a lot of pretty pictures where you see all the lasers going back and forth. But somebody actually took the time, and there's a big 1080p picture where they put red dots on all of the ships. She's like, obviously you can see the big ships. What you don't see is there are a lot of minuscule ships, and you finally get to see it's just red. Obviously you can make stuff out, but it's so crazy the amount that was in this battle. Unfortunately, the gameplay for EVE Online isn't that cool. It is like a spreadsheet. So the way it works is obviously the big ships, the $3,000 are generally command ships, and you have one commander for the battle, and that commander's like, okay, target this ship, Group B target this ship, Group C target this ship, and all you do is say you're a Group A, and he's like, target John. It's a ship named John. I don't know why. So what you do is you pull up this list. It's basically a spreadsheet, and you click on John. And that is the battle until he's like, John's dead, click on Paul, and then you're
Marcus used to play it. He was like a lowly smuggler or whatever. He's just trying to make his way in the world. It was pretty funny just watching him. I was just watching him.
It looks really cool, but I never got into the gameplay.
Yeah, the what I like about EVE Online is just the way how the world is player made, and there's the economy and everything's all in the game. It's
what I hate about EVE Online? That they have a better economy than we do.
Yeah,
their economy is more stable than ours. So
yeah, that does kind of suck. That does kind of suck.
Full currency in that game is traded more regularly than regular currency. So, craziness. So, there you go. EVE Online. Definitely check out the pictures for that and the GIFs and all that. It was pretty crazy. So. All right, so we got a discussion topic. I talked about Rust's alpha. Obviously, we played Starbound, which was in beta, which I'm actually cool with betas. You know, the best way I can describe alpha versus beta versus a release product is obviously a release product you hope is 100%. You know, normally it's like 98% now.
Yeah.
That's kind of the accepted norm of, some things aren't going to work. We'll fix it right away. Beta is like 90%, maybe 80 to 90. Like there's still a lot of features coming in. Like Starbound was I'd say a pretty rough beta. Like I'd say they were probably closer to the 80% done, and now they're getting closer to the 90.
Okay.
Alpha is traditionally like 60%. Like that. Basically, what alpha is like a proof of concept. It was like for your movie, it was like the trailer.
It's
like, this is what I want to make. Here's the groundwork, and then we're gonna work up from it.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously, for games, it's a little more intuitive in the fact that you get to see the engine. You know, at that point,
it's still playable,
right?
But
and some of the core stuff is there. What I don't like is DayZ does it best, but a lot of these other games are like, oh, we're an alpha, you know, beware, and that's it. DayZ has. Like the creator of DayZ has literally said, "Do not buy this." He's like, if you don't know what alpha is and you don't want to be, you know, subject to all this crap, don't buy it. He's like, wait for beta, wait for the release. Whereas all these other alphas are like, oh, check this alpha out. You know, like Rust, even though it's an alpha, a lot of people are like, oh, it's really good, but I wish it did this or I wish it did that. And what you don't understand is you should go on there and tell them that because that's what it's there for. Like EverQuest Next is an alpha now, and it's paid. It's a paid alpha. Like I had actually pre-ordered the game when it was $20, and now it's $60. So sweet,
nice,
snag that deal. But they have literally said like, they did the same thing. They said, you know, do not buy this. It's very rough. But we want you to contribute. And they actually put rules on it, like if you play, we expect you to be on the forum, and if we don't see you on the forum, we're going to limit your access. So even if you paid, they're like, we will limit your access. Now, that has since gone away since they launched the alpha. That was before the alpha, but you know, that was the initial plan. Now they're like, oh, you paid, you get to stay. But they're still like, you know, it's very rough.
Okay.
And I hate to say it, but it's kind of like their way of copping out for crowdfunding. Like, so my problem with these paid alphas is I think it's hurting game development as a whole because we're becoming more and more desensitized to games not working.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't like the idea of like getting a game that's not all there.
Like when you played Starbound, did you think it was a beta?
I guess I didn't play it deep enough to really get, you know, scratch the surface to see all the stuff that wasn't there. I mean, it seemed okay. Like
it seemed like Terraria.
Yeah.
So it just seemed like there was more to it. And I think that's good. I think beta is fine. You know, paid beta is fine. Whatever.
It seemed like it worked. Like the most of the stuff that needed to be done to Starbound was just like little tweaks to you know, weapons and stuff like that. Just
balancing.
Yeah,
issues.
balancing. Yeah.
So, yeah, I unfortunately the reason like I wouldn't have a problem with paid alpha if I hadn't seen a trend in games, and we're seeing it. And like I said, you know, when we get a game, we don't expect a game to work anymore. We expect it to mostly work, and then you know, they'll fix it down the line. And there's no other media that's like that. It's like you don't watch a movie and
this actor's not in it yet,
or a scene's missing. You're like, and they're like, oh, we'll add that scene back in later. This is what happens. Games get away with so much, and you know, I give games a little bit of leeway. There's a lot to them, but I think the whole game should be there, and this kind of goes in with the DLC thing too. I don't think you should tie core story elements
to the DLC.
to a DLC.
Yeah.
Like Mass Effect. We're big Mass Effect fans, but putting the Prothean as a paid DLC, it was like a super low shot.
A day one DLC at that.
Right.
Yeah.
So now they kind of got around that because they gave it people for free if you bought it new, but still, like, you still got to pay for it.
Yep.
So, and I think alphas, unfortunately, are going to continue that trend even worse. So now as alphas and betas get more popular, because they already are, especially betas have long since stopped becoming testing grounds and become PR grounds.
Yeah.
So,
get into the beta of this when you buy this game.
right.
Yeah.
Or like I got an email right now. Elder Scrolls. Like, let me see if I can add this.
And
There you go. Now you can see it.
nice.
Elder Scrolls, they want you to come join this to break a record. Like, they want you to come break a record. That's what it says. Obviously, I cut my my key out. Oh, can you not see me? Oh, it's because I moved that and not this.
Oh.
There you go. So there you go. So that is a beta now, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be showing that. So we'll close that. Maybe. There you go. So yeah, I'm in the Elder Scrolls beta, but so is everybody else apparently.
Yeah.
But that's what betas are. They're PR, and now alphas are the testing ground. And people don't understand that there's that big gap between alpha and beta. Like, it is like buying a raw hot dog versus buying a hot dog, and then the finished one is a chili dog. So,
or at least with some toppings on there.
right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, alpha is like, okay, it just came out the package, and you're like, oh, this is kind of gross and slimy. But I understand that someday this will be a chili dog.
Yeah, this will taste really good.
Now beta is like, it's a chili dog, but tell everybody about it. So that's my problem with alphas, and I'm worried about it.
Yeah, definitely. I just don't like the idea of paying for something that's not done. I'm glad you brought up the DLC, because I was thinking the same thing when I read this topic. Like, I don't like the idea of just paying for something that's not complete. Just give us the whole game.
Have you ever seen the picture that they do of Mona Lisa, where it's like gaming over the past 10 years, and like the first one is like gaming in 95, and it's like, the whole Mona Lisa, and then it's like gaming in 2005, and it's like the whole Mona Lisa, and then like a smaller Mona Lisa as like expansion, or I forget, it might have been like a Van Gogh or something, or whatever.
Okay.
But and then it's like gaming now, or it's like gaming 2 years ago, and it's like part of the Mona Lisa, and then it's like DLC is like the other part of the Mona Lisa, and stuff like that. And then they added a new one, and it's like even less of the Mona Lisa, and then it's like DLC of the Mona Lisa, and then it's like microtransaction of the Mona Lisa. So
Yeah.
So
You guys suck.
Do you ever play Dungeon Keeper on the PC?
No.
Where it was a really cool game. It was like a strategy game, and you played the bad guy, and you had to set traps and set your dungeon up and stuff. It's actually probably one of the only games where you do that. It's a lot like Overlord, where you play the bad guy.
Okay.
But it's very popular. It's like a very cult popular PC game. It's very like Baldur's Gate, stuff like that. They re-released it on iOS and Android, but everything is behind a paywall. Everything. Like, to build your castle and stuff, you gotta have imps dig out blocks and stuff like that. If you don't pay for it, it takes an imp to dig out one block 24 hours. To give you an idea, on the original version, that took 5 seconds.
Wow.
And obviously, if you want them to dig, you have to pay. So, that is, it just came out, I think, yesterday or the day before. So that is already causing a huge shitstorm because people are pissed. They were like, "This is an amazing game," and the new generation is going to be like, "Oh, well, this is what gaming is now," and that's not how it is.
Wow.
So, it'd be like, okay, I'm playing Halo, and you have the pistol, not the super overpowered pistol, the regular pistol.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you want an assault rifle? That's $10.
That's dumb.
Oh, by the way, it's only $10 for the first 100 bullets. Then it's $50
For the full clip.
For the full clip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
And if you want a melee.
Yeah, don't forget about the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Sword.
Oh yeah, energy sword.
Only Bill Gates gets the sword.
Mm-hmm.
So he stepped down. Did you hear that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he stepped down as whatever he was at Microsoft.
Oh wow.
He's only a consultant now.
He's ready to retire. He's trying to phase himself out.
Yeah.
He's got enough money.
There you go. So I'm gonna do a complete 180 from that alpha thing, and I'm gonna talk about an alpha
Nice.
as a preview. The reason I'm gonna get away with this is because, like I said, EverQuest kind of did it the right way, saying that don't buy this alpha unless you want to be part of the conversation because you are gonna help mold the game, and they already have. Like since they launched on Friday, they've put 2 patches in place of all player requests. Some of them are like Band-Aid fixes. They're like, we're going to have real fixes. Like the first one, which was kind of a duh thing. On the map, it says nowhere what world or continent you're on. So
Yeah.
you're kind of like, you had all these people in chat like, what continent am I on?
Where am I?
Where did I build my house? Because it doesn't tell you where you built your house. But now it does. Now that was the first thing they fixed. That they fixed a lot of the bugs and stuff, and then they put some other player requests like you saw that map and how confusing it was. So we'll I don't have to talk about it. We can show you. So EverQuest Next looks like an MMO. Mostly like Minecraft, a good-looking Minecraft. This is my my debonair character that I made to not look like me. He kind of looks like me, but there's only like 3 options. Like character creator right now is very limited. I was actually surprised you could choose male or female. Normally in alphas, they're like you get the male body or the female body, whatever they use as the base, and that's it. So there is a little bit of options, but. It plays a lot like Minecraft. Like it you go around, you dig, you cut trees. I didn't get any video of me cutting trees because obviously I'm in the middle of a desert. So, and this is actually where I build my house. But so far it's been pretty cool. I like, and this is gonna be a really bad sentence. I like this hot dog. And I'm excited for the chili dog it's going to become.
Okay.
I knew that was a bad idea before I said it, and I said it anyway, so there you go. But it has the makings. I don't think it will ever get as popular as Minecraft. But what it has going for it is it ties into a big MMO. Like EverQuest, while it was really popular, it never reached World of Warcraft status, but nothing ever did. World of Warcraft by itself is its own beast. Like you can't if you are a MMO developer and you are grading yourself on the World of Warcraft scale, you're gonna fail.
Yeah,
you can't do that. So
how far deep can you go down?
You can go down pretty far.
Wow.
And luckily, you'll see me use it here in a second. You get a grappling hook.
I was about to say, how do you get out of there?
Yeah, so that's the first thing. I have to say that traversing 3D environments, obviously you do it in Minecraft, but it's, blocky and pretty easy to manage. Traversing, realistic 3D environments is actually pretty easy in this, especially once you craft that grappling hook. And you can do that pretty easily, especially if you go for the mineral specifically for it. There's a lot to craft there. You can kind of see the map there. The one thing to point out in alpha right now is you may think the stream stuttering and stuff like that. It's not. Alpha does not run very well.
It's not optimized yet.
No, and in fact, they know it's not optimized, and that's like the first, beyond buying it, that is like the first wall you will hit because the PC requirements are pretty high. Like you need I don't want to say high-end Intel processor, but you need at least the mid-end Intel processor. Like you need at least an i5, which is, like I said, middle of the road, mid to upper actually. You need a good amount of memory, and you need a good graphics card. Space-wise, you didn't need that much because it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. So be warned, if you're thinking about this, definitely check out the minimum specs. They've actually updated the minimum specs 3 times since it's launched. Because they're like, we can't do it. Like initially they were trying to run 64-bit and 32-bit. Now they will only do 64-bit. They were like, we can't make the game run on 32-bit. So you have to have 64-bit OS. If you don't know what that means, the forum will tell you.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've been pretty impressed with it so far. I played a decent amount this weekend. I played a lot today just because I wanted to get in there and A, get some footage, and B, see if I could get past a tier 1 world. Because it is going to be a time sink. The cool thing about this game is if you look on the left of the screen, you see a little blue thing. And that is like your crafting window. So let me see if I can... Let's... go forward. All right, let's go back a little bit. So this is me mining, as you've seen me mine before. But the whole point I came out here in the middle of nowhere was so I can lay my claim. So this is what I'm doing here. You get a little flag. You can choose your claim, vertical, how high up it goes, and down. So obviously you want to kind of set it to the point where, and you'll see me do it here, where some of it's above ground and some of it's below ground. I was having control problems. But once you lay your claim, the cool thing is you have complete control over the environment at that point. You don't have to mine, you don't have to cut trees, you don't have to do anything like that. You can just delete. So
nice.
You'll see me do it here in a second. Like I was kind of screwing around, seeing where I could place it and all that. Obviously, you can raise and lower your box.
And those other boxes are other people's boxes.
Right. I said those are the buffers. So, like, once I laid it there, you can see the inner box is my claim, and the outer box is the buffer. But, like I said, once you lay your claim, full control over the terrain. So, and all that stuff goes in your inventory.
Okay.
And you have separate inventory. You have
like the dirt and
right. You have like minerals, dirt, stuff like that. And then you have traditional inventory like armor, weapons, and that kind of stuff that's coming. They did say eventually there's going to be an MMO side to this where you get gear and stuff like that. And it's already there a little bit, but there's no health bars, there's no monsters, so you can't currently die. But they said don't get used to that because that's coming. But as you see, you have complete control over it. So once you get to this point, you can start building stuff up. You can build all kinds of cool stuff. Like you can build beds and furniture, and they already have a whole lot of plans and stuff in there. And I was actually really surprised. Obviously, I haven't found all of them yet, but and say you want like a marble sink. You could do that. You just gotta go find the marble. So
interesting.
It's actually really cool in the way that they did this. And excuse me. This is like the key part of the gameplay, because like I said earlier, there's 2 games coming out. There's EverQuest Next, which is like I said, the World of Warcraft MMO. You have gear, static world, theme park, everything you hear people talk about for MMOs, quests, stuff like that. And then you have EverQuest Next Landmark, and that's what you're watching here. This is the building side of it. Well, the cool thing is, in this, you make buildings, obviously, in your claim, and then you can save them as templates, and then you can get your template approved, and obviously this is way down the line. But you can get your template approved, and then people can use your template in the MMO game.
Interesting.
So for player housing, say you build this super bitchin' mansion, you can sell that template to people in the MMO game, and eventually you can either sell it for in-game money or real-world money. So you possibly, if this game does well, could have virtual architects.
Wow.
So that's really cool. You'll see me here. I'll skip ahead because this video goes really, really long. You'll see me build some stuff. So you'll see me right here. I'm making some stairs. I tried to get a little fancy with it, but other than that, you know, it's nothing special. You can see up there, I think, let's see. You can see I made like a high sign, so people coming in, and you can change your plot so that it's public or private, you know, stuff like that.
Interesting.
I didn't have any wood, so I didn't actually be able to build a house because I didn't want to build a house out of dirt. You know, I have standards. Okay, I will, however, make stairs and apparently a handicap ramp out of dirt. At this point, I was just screwing around with all the different tools because obviously they have all these different shapes and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, but I'm excited for this possible chili dog. But right now it's a slimy hot dog, so beware.
Yeah. Cold.
If you want to get in the game, you can go to EverQuest Next Landmark. You have to buy either the Trailblazer or the Explorer pack, which basically means you either have to buy the $99 pack or the $60 pack. But at that point, you have unlimited access to alpha and beta. They said they're going to run alpha for a few months while they get the players' requests, and then they'll pop into beta. There's going to be a character wife at the end of alpha, at the end of beta, and then it's going to go live. So
cool.
I mean, like I said, I'm impressed with it. I like the Minecraft gameplay. There's something to me that's just, you know, very, very relaxing to just sit there and mine. Oh yeah, this is where I start going crazy. I'm like, well, what does this one do? And I'm like, oh, it's a spear.
Nice.
So you make like a cavern, and it's cool with the spear because it looks almost natural. So, but then I'm gonna stop the video there because I go a little crazy creating with the sphere, and it unintentionally looks like something that, you know, I don't want to show on the show. It was completely unintentional, and after I built it, I was like, oh god, that looks like a penis. So then it was like, delete. So
interesting.
Yeah, so there you go.
EverQuest Next.
EverQuest Next Landmark. Like I said, there's no real deal of the week this week. There's a couple of Humble Bundles going on.
There's that PS4 thing you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, PS4, you know, PlayStation Plus, all the normal deals. It's kind of a lull. So, Fable Anniversary came out today.
Right,
That's what I previewed last week. So
there was wait a minute. There was a deal with the Halo.
Yeah, that Microsoft snuck in a bundle that I didn't know about, and I honestly couldn't tell you when it came out. So, but it's Halo Reach and Halo Anniversary Collector's Edition, or Halo C Combat Evolved. Anniversary. I can't believe I messed that up.
For $30.
For $30. Yeah, so that's $15 a game. Combat Evolved Anniversary, I hear, is really good. I hear Reach is good too.
My brother liked it.
I haven't played either, so that's definitely something I'm interested in. There's a lot of good 360 games still coming out, so check that out. So football's over, so no football picks anymore.
Oh man,
sad.
Yeah, I'm sad.
So that will do it for us for now. We're gonna do some Minecraft in a little bit. You know, we're going to take our break. Obviously, the show started late, so Minecraft's going to start a little late. And we may not play as late. We'll see.
Okay.
But we'll be back in 10 minutes.
10-minute dose.
Gamers Digest is a Spider-One and Mr. Factastic production. All characters and games are owned by their respective companies and are used under the Fair Use Law. Check out Gamers Digest at gamersdigest.me, on YouTube under Gamers Digest Podcast, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at The Gamers Digest. Viewer questions and comments can always be sent to gamersdigestpodcast@gmail.com. See you next week.